Welcome, everybody, to episode 17, season 2, episode 1 of Community Chronicles, a DDPY community video interview series. It could not get bigger than this, folks. Than the season 2 premiere of our little project here. We brought in the smoothest pipes in the DDPY community, the most luxurious beard, the biggest, cuddliest grizzly I could find. The man who made Travis Mahaffey what he is today. Forget all of Travis's prior experience. He owes everything he has to this man right here, Mr. Jason Sparks. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, Anthony. How are you doing, man?
I'm wonderful. I'm pumped. This is one that I've been trying to make happen for months. And so when Jason and I finally connected, I couldn't wait. I could not wait. And so thankfully, it came close. We had a snowstorm rip through Kentucky, knocked out his power for a little while, but he got it back just in time to join us here today.
Well, that plus, you know, we had that big rivalry between RTD and Shamrock, and I mean, that
was really why I wanted to bring you in here to really just to address this beef, because I got a lot of problems with you people. As you know, I support Mark DeSico, who's now with Project Mayhem and his own RTD Fitness. You obviously are a member of the Shamrock congregation, and we can't be friends because my yoga teacher is better than your yoga teacher. What an insane premise.
Oh, that was absolutely hilarious. And one of the things I loved about it was that, you know, whenever Mark and Travis came up with the idea that we needed to have some sort of a beef between the two groups, it was like you and I were naturally just playing off of each other. People think, oh, well, was there real beef? No, there was no real beef. Or did we plan it out? I had that one. Whenever people found out there wasn't anything, I said, no, we didn't plan anything out. Anthony and I were just able to naturally work off of each other and trying to constantly one up one another. And it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. The people watching it were laughing. The fact that we really confused and tricked a lot of people thinking that there were issues, man, that was
I agree. I'll throw a couple of little clips in here too, because it was just two grown-ass men being really silly about something that, to be frank, is just stupid. Like the idea itself is just stupid, but that's what made it so fun. And then the fact that there were people genuinely thinking that there is some kind of animosity between us, that was the best part. But so you guys go ahead and scroll back through the Shamrock Fitness page or the RTD Fitness page, and you'll find those videos of me and Jason promoing back and forth. It was a good time, and it ended with what was it all culminating with? A joint
first
workout.
Friday.
The two guys instructed us together, so it didn't make sense that we're gonna talk a bunch of trash and then we're gonna work out together.
I thought that was hilarious.
Coin one of your own Southern phrases when I say, bless your hearts. Now stop your fretting, let's get to sweating. See you on the mat. Bang!
Another. Plus, in the words of Teddy Roosevelt, you walk softly and you carry a big stick. And that's just what we do in Sham Fam. Walk softly, carry a big stick.
All right, Jason, why don't you give us the VHS sleeve version of how you found the DDPY program and what this program has done for you since?
Okay, with finding the program, mine is very different. You know, I was having a conversation with a group last night, and they were all talking about the Arthur video. I had actually gotten into doing yoga originally with Nintendo Wii Fitness. They had the yoga program in there. I went, hey, that's kind of neat. And then I had a friend who taught traditional yoga. So I went to a couple of her classes and had my rear end handed to me because, you know, 6'2", over 300 pounds at the time, dude, I couldn't do any of it. So I was like, the heck with that. Let me find something else. And then locally, there was a guy that was doing his instructor training, and he had advertised that he was doing DDPY, you know, and Ain't Your Mama's Yoga. And I went, you know, I love the yoga, let me look into seeing what exactly this is. And ended up, that was about the time that, everything was going to start with the pandemic. So his gym went under. But I had started looking into things. I was like, Diamond Dallas Page. I was a huge WWE fan back in the 90s and early 2000s, but the only ones from WCW that I really got into was Diamond Dallas Page. And then, of course, whenever Kevin Nash and all those guys, jumped ship, that was about all that I ever really paid attention to with WCW. But whenever I saw that it was Diamond Dallas Page, I went, oh, heck yeah, there's somebody that I like. So it was about time for income tax refund checks. Got that. And I went, heck yes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order this and see what it's like. And got into it. And the first probably 8 months or so, 8-10 months, I was really just I was doing my workouts, but I was more treading water, just giving them the base amount of attention to get through them. And then whenever live instructors started coming on, like Dr. Marcel Dore and Travis Mahaffey, and some of those guys, and also ladies, because Heather Berkowitz and Sarah Fortune both kicked my rear end more times than I ever cared to have imagined or mentioned, even though I just did. I got serious about it. And whenever I'd first gotten the app, I was 315 pounds. I was honestly probably heavier, but that was as heavy as this a scale in my bathroom would go up to. I was wearing a size 44 in pants, and the 2XL shirts were way too tight to wear 9 times out of 10. So I was in 3 and 4X shirts. And I mean, a lot of people would be like, oh, you're big, but you're not fat. But at 6'2", a lot of that stuff gets hidden. And whenever I started to take it seriously, drop below 300, drop below 280. And I started into like the DDPY challenge back in 2021. And I was doing real good with that. I'd gotten down into the 250s like in June of 2021. And then, I let some external forces take over my life, and it took what was being a really good on track success. I let depression take over a whole lot. And by the time 2022 started, I was back up in the 280s and not doing super well, eating whatever, going, I'll just outwork it. But anybody that has done this for very long knows that, dude, there is no way you're going to outwork a diet, because I can guarantee you the garbage that you put into your face, your body can't burn it faster than you can shovel it in. And that's something big that I've had to come to grips with. But thankfully, I've got a small group of friends that I'm accountable to, and that's making a huge amount of difference to me.
I think, yeah, well, you have to offer yourself some grace there. That one, we all know that the hardest part of any kind of, God, I need a thesaurus to not call this a journey, a trek, an escapade, an adventure, a saga, right? Of trying to get in shape. The mental part's the hardest part. And we all fall victim to it once in a while. And success is rarely linear. Even when you are on a roll, your weight's going to go up and down a little bit. And every once in a while, it's good for you physically to get a little bit of a reset. It happens to all of us, where there are just days where we kind of lose track. And then we think, well, I can let myself have this, maybe a little more of that. And then before we know it, we've regressed. But the best part is that, number one, we have great support systems available to us with the people that we've met through this community. And number two, we already know what to do. We don't have to figure it out all over again. So I would like to know how you came to be the #1 pitch man in the ancillary DDPY community. Number one, what brought you to Travis Mahaffey? And two, what made you the spokesman for Shamrock Fitness.
Well, that's one of those that it sounds like it should be an interesting story, but it's not so much. Okay.
And bury the lead, Jason.
Well, in 2020, when we first went into the pandemic and everything shut down, I decided that I'm going to become an instructor. So I signed up for instruction, and I was on the Facebook group that all the instructors in training use. And, I was looking at some of the requirements, and one of them was you have to have a camera. Well, at that time, I didn't have a camera. I had a phone. And I put up a post of, hey, what do people recommend? I had Aaron Johnson say, get yourself a GoPro and just be done with it. And then I had this one guy, Ryan Nichols, that said, nah, man, don't waste all that money. Get this other camera. I went, okay, I like saving money. Being a single dad, I've got to be careful about how I spend anything. So I got the one that Ryan had put up, but I didn't know how to use it. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey man, thanks for the suggestion. Now what? I got it. And I formed a friendship with him. And then I started seeing him putting up posts of doing a workout with Marcel Dore, workout with Travis Mahaffey, workout with this person, that person. And I kept looking for them on the app. And I'm like, I can't find these dudes. I'm doing workouts with Dallas and Garrett and Hayden and Yoga Doc and Christina whenever I want to see just how badly I am at stretching for the moment. And he goes, well, I'll send you some links. So I started to go to these other classes with different instructors. And Travis, being from the South, one of the first things before I even had a class with him, he went live whenever a storm was approaching his house. And he was talking about, I don't know if this does this in your area, but whenever the rain's coming, the leaves on certain trees start to turn over. I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's one of the ways that we tell, oh yeah, there's a storm coming because the maple leaves will start to turn over a little bit. And started talking there. Then I went to a couple of classes, and he goes, well, I'm going to start doing this and start doing that. And with like the first Fridays, whenever he was doing, any kind of promotion, it started with Travis would do a class, and then Krista Nava was doing her class immediately after. And we started doing them back to back before they came into just one online class. And I said, man, a lot more people need to get out and find out about this. Do you mind if I put up a post about it? He goes, fine. So originally they were I was writing them. And then I got home from work late one evening, and I was like, I don't have time to write this out. So I grabbed my phone, held it up, and went, la, 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 la. Put that up. And Travis was like, man, can you do that more? I was like, yeah, I did that because I ran out of time, but I can do it more. And, he would start sending me, okay, this is who we're going to have this week. And this is who we're going to have that week. Start getting that shouted out there. Okay, Travis, I'll get it out there, do whatever I can. And then different people started to say, hey man, could you do this one for me too? And I thought, hey, I'm going to have fun. I think one of the more interesting ones I did was Lavinia and Beverly Bauma. They did one going into New Year's of 2021. And that's whenever I put on a tuxedo to do like a ring announcer. Mm-hmm. And that's when people are like, man, you got to start doing this for all these different people. And that's basically where that came from. And since then, I've still been working with Travis, promoting stuff in Shamrock Fitness, built the website that he's using for, power yoga and flexibility and all of that, all of his non-DDPY related stuff. So it's turned into a pretty good relationship.
Cottage industry for yourself off of doing, selfie videos.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty similar to what I imagined. And I wouldn't say that it's not an exciting story. It's just, it's neat how that works. How you find something that, you do one because you don't have time to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
And it catches on, you're good at it. You got a good delivery. You got a pleasant voice I
Oh
just
boy, thank you.
sometimes, even when I have zero intention of going to work out with Travis, I'm like, well, I'm going to watch Jason's video anyway because I like to listen to him. And then you
Yeah.
have thrown your hat in the ring for this year's Positively Unstoppable Challenge too, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hashtag injured, not obsolete.
Yep.
We didn't get into this much, but Jason's been in a boot since the womb.
Feels
And
like it.
has been able to modify for the last year and change, and always manages to put up monster numbers on every workout. King of engagement and doing it all one-legged. So
Yeah.
what brought you to decide to enter this year's Positively Unstoppable Challenge?
Well, the big thing was, after I experienced the mental setback last year, and I had entered last year's challenge too, but I said that I was in the running for things, but my heart just wasn't in it. I'd gotten depressed. I was allowing external factors to kind of guide where I was going with things. I said, this year, I don't care about winning the challenge so much as I worry about winning myself and winning the mental battle. And even more importantly is showing my son that, last year I said, oh, the adversities that one can face, I need to show him that you can overcome that no matter what is in front of you. And then I didn't. So this year I'm making that up to my son, and I'm making that up to myself. And that's, my success isn't going to be determined by others. It's not going to be determined by external factors. It's going to be determined by myself and what I'm pushing towards, and, holding myself accountable, changing things, especially I still haven't missed a day of workout since the middle of 2020.
Wow. Jason, what do you say we roll into the home stretch here and do some rapid fire questions?
Please be gentle, sir. I beg of you.
All right. What is your favorite smell?
My favorite smell. Let's see here. This is going to be weird. After somebody's been welding a frame on a car together. I know. That's weird. I'm also big into automotive.
What's your least favorite smell?
That one is probably either lavender or rosemary. Oof.
Odd choices. Most people are like, oh, vomit, skunk, but no. Aromatic herbs are Jason's least favorite.
I'm weird.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
To be able to read every book as fast as possible and retain everything that I read.
All right. Well, on that token, what's your favorite book? I know it's a worse thing to ask a reader.
Oh, no. This one's actually pretty easy. That would be Stephen King's The Dark Half. That is one of my absolute favorites.
Good one. What is the worst book you've ever read?
Oh, it's actually one that I've planned to reread to see if I can get anything else out of it. Back in high school or middle school, it was either end of middle school, beginning of high school, I read Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace.
Oh, it's a slog. But it's a classic. You have to read it because it's classic literature, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's why I want to reread it with a slightly more adult mind to see if maybe it's not quite so painful.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Not a whole lot. I mean,
no, there was not anything we'd be surprised to know that you can do.
Well, people generally laugh whenever I go, I don't know how well the mic will pick it up, but
well, Michael Winslow over here.
Michael Winslow was one of the greatest people of all time.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, that counts. I can't do that. What's your proudest moment ever?
Either the
Say
day
your
my
son being
was
born, I'm gonna buzzer you because you got to pick a better one than that.
Let's see here. If it's of my own, something that I've accomplished on my own, it was the first time that I did a workout after getting injured, and I'm up modified almost everything and just left nothing behind. I worked myself until I was to the point of fainting, and I thought, holy crap, I can actually do this. Even injured, I'm not obsolete. I can still keep going.
Hashtag, I love that, by the way. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Thankfully, I don't think it's on camera, but I was doing a Zoom workout with Travis, and there were about 15 other people in the class. And this would have been about a year and change ago. And my son came in and he kind of startled me a little bit. And I was wearing like long sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have to wear a shoe on the other foot to balance out the height wearing the boot.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I turned, I didn't realize that I had my, the leg of my pants under the sole of my shoe. And I turned and twisted and it corkscrewed my pants all the way down to my knees.
That's
while I was
yourself.
on camera.
That's awesome. What is the worst advice you've ever received?
To beat yourself up about everything, to not allow any kind of fault. Everything has to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. Get as close to it as you can, but don't beat yourself up if you don't reach non-realistic perfection.
So
Sure.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I ever received is to have the strength to be kind and graceful to yourself, because that is one that I'm still working on every day. Yes, sir.
Every day.
Right there.
One of the reasons I bought that shirt, it's a reminder to myself, not the asshole talking to me, right? That I need to be kind to myself and to others. Well, perfect.
Yeah.
You made it through the rapid fires, Jason. The other thing that we ask every single guest to do, because this show is about community, is to pick a member or two of the DDPY community that you think deserves a little bit of a shout out and tell us why.
Well, I tell you what, there is a small group, and it's kind of labeled the Clan Kuyans, but it is a group of Travis Mahaffey, Caitlin Kay, Tina Gaspard, and myself. And we help keep one another accountable. And whenever we're having a bad day, just kind of, bouncing that off of one another. And honestly, if it wasn't for those three in that group, I probably would have faltered a long time ago. And it wouldn't have been quite so easy of a decision to have decided to pick myself up and get myself put back together if it wasn't for that group, because they're all incredible people. I mean, you got Caitlin, who's, runner up in the 2020 Positively Unstoppable Challenge. And a lot of people have seen her journey. She's incredible. You got Travis, who is a phenomenal instructor on a multitude of platforms. Great, super cool guy. And Tina Gaspard, who's lost over 100 pounds, constantly trying to better herself.
Who doesn't love Tina? Yeah,
exactly. So that is my group. That is my chosen family. And without them, dude, I'd probably have given up and faded off into the sunset a long time ago. And then none of you could have seen this wonderful season 2 premiere.
Right? Epic.
Yeah.
So we're so grateful for those three for keeping you accountable and keeping you in it and keeping you around. Because we value you as a member of the community, and I value you for being my first guest for season 2, which took place just 5 weeks after season 1. I mean, they didn't even see it coming. So the last thing we ask everybody to do, Jason, is give us a bang to shut her down.
Well, let me get this mic out of the way. Make sure you push that out. And bang.
Perfect. We'll see you next time, everybody. Don't forget to do this tomorrow.
Yes. See you then.